Does anyone else struggle a little bit against the AI in Sins of a Solar Empire 2, or maybe not know what to build and when to build it, or why you're building it, or researching it? Well, I thought it'd be fun if we did ourselves a little practical game here, a little walkthrough, a little comp stomp, where I show you how I beat one way to beating an unfair AI and explain to you every step of the way what I'm doing and why I'm doing it. And the hope is that you can take a look at this and apply some of these thought processes or plans or build orders to your own game in order to come out a little stronger at the end. I've gone ahead and selected the Tech Enclave, which I think is probably the most popular for newer players, and I think it's also actually the hardest faction to beat the AI with. I find much more success much more easily with the Advent or the Visari or even just the Primacy. So we're going to take the AI, we're going to ride out against an unfair AI on a random two-player system. Let's go, let's do it. We've done some theoreticals, let's do some practicals here. So the Tech Enclave has, some advantages and some disadvantages going for it, but we'll talk about when we get there. What are we going to do? Right off the bat, we're going to grab our planet. We're going to go to mining, to commerce, because we need to get our economy roaring up as quickly as possible. We're going to go into our build menu and start a civilian research station. We're going to just control left click on it, and that automatically places it in our gravity well without forcing us to place it ourselves. Then we're going to grab our little starting alpha fleet here. We're going to hit Control 1 to put that on a control group that we can just click or select anytime we press the number 1. And we're going to go ahead and pick a starting capital ship in it. Now, I often like the Sova Carrier. Sova Carrier gets slept on by a lot of new players, but it's very good. We're going to do a Sova Carrier, 2 frigates, 1 colony ship, 3 more frigates after that. Boom. It pops out right away. I'm going to just send it to a nearby planet, assuming that's probably an asteroid. We're also going to go ahead and skill up the deploy missile battery. That'll be a little extra DPS early on. We're going to crank up our game speed to like at least 1.5 for now. And we'll probably make it even faster later on. Why do we like a Sova Carrier? Well, it doesn't have the most guns on it, right? We've got a couple little autocannons that aren't going to do a whole lot, but we've got 9 point defense on it. And the point defense are critical because the only real dangers to your early fleets are systems that have a whole bunch of missile boats in them, the Javelin missile carriers, because those missiles can do a lot of damage to your capital ship. And if we had gone something else like a coal battleship or a Marza dreadnought, then if we ran into a whole bunch of missile boats, we could get our shields and our armor blown off and maybe even some of our hull taken down. But the glory of the 9 point defense guns on your Sova Carrier mean that no missile will ever touch it, at least not from these neutrals. So also we'd gone in, we're going to take the civilian tier 1 tech. I think where I'm going to start with this, because I don't have a great plan of what's around me yet, I'm going to just grab mercantile envoys for the influence. Now, you might think it would be a great idea to beeline straight into trade ports. And you'd be right, because trade ports are where we're going to get a lot of our economy from. But they're so expensive early on, we kind of can't afford them for a while. So I'm going to fly my carrier sort of up front, sort of right into the enemy's face, so that it sort of tanks all of their shots. And because it has 500 durability and these guys have no pierce on their weapons really, it's not going to take any damage at all. So we're going to clear out that asteroid. I see we got an ice planet right beyond that. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say I want Arctic colonization as my next tech. And we'll go step back for a second. Why do we pick up mercantile envoys? Because there are some really, really useful early minor powers. What I would really like would be the colonizing nanites, maybe, that would help us to get free districts when we colonize planets. We'll take a look and see what the minor factions are when we get there. But for now, we've got our little colony frigate in here. Once we blow up this siege frigate, we can colonize this. There it is. We're going to go ahead. The first thing we do in any of these asteroids is we do our mining and we do our commerce. And then we move on down to the next planet. The next one is an ice planet, which will have, I guess that's not much of a defense there, so. Sometimes the ice planets, if they're a little further away, could potentially have big neutral garrisons, but I don't really see any of them on them yet. We're going to come back to our home planet, and we're going to get our 5th level of commerce, since we haven't gotten that yet. We've got our upgrades going on our rock up here. And I think I'm pretty comfortable now coming back and grabbing our orbital commerce to unlock some trade ports. We just about have enough resources to start investing in those. You guys get going. Hurry up. Go, go, go. I did tell you to go, right? They're just going slowly. Oh, because I paused. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so we're going around. We're trying to grab our early starting planets as quickly as we can. Keep an eye on things. We got a volcano planet over there. And then once again, when we get to the fight, we're going to grab our flagship and we're going to fly him up in front of everybody else, because I kind of want the other ships that join the fight to be targeting my my carrier here and not targeting my little light cruisers. And typically they target whatever's closest to them. We also have a derelict back here, so I'm going to come back to our tech tree and we're going to grab derelict specialists. I think that'll be useful for us. We would like to have the extra 50% experience from that.
Reading you loud and clear.
We're level 2 here. We're going to go ahead and grab mobile corvette factory, even though we don't have any corvettes yet. We also have 2 of our influence points, so we're going to spend one of them to reveal a minor faction. Pronost United, that's fine. That'll let us build some cheap turrets later on. Don't gotta worry about that.
Scouts have found a colonizable planet.
Our orbital commerce is almost done. We're gonna come over here. We're gonna upgrade logistics on our first asteroid and put in a trade port. Now that's pretty expensive. Upgrading logistics is like 200, 150. The trade port is 1200, 250, 150. So it's a big expenditure in the early game. But we'll be fine with it. And we're just waiting for our ships to tear stuff up. We got a little extra money, so we can go ahead and cap out at our 99 supply by adding 3 more of our little cobalt frigates. That extra DPS, the damage per second, will help our help us clear the neutrals faster. And I'm going to go ahead and fly my carrier up into this derelict to start grabbing it. We've got more civilian research open. Is there anything I care about yet? No. There's nothing I need right now, so I'm just going to let it idle. I'm not going to research anything. I changed my mind. I'm going to get the metal one for now, because it's very, very cheap, and we could do a use for a little extra metal. We've got our ice planet here. We're going to max out our mining. We're going to max out our commerce on it as quickly as possible. Do I want to bid for the metal stockpile? I do, and because I've got 2 points, I'm going to go ahead and put both in it. That's likely to have me win it at this early in the game. And because metal is our lowest resource right now, we've got it'd be kind of a high value for us to win. Alright, we're going to grab some of this derelict loot, make sure our commerce is leveled up here. And now we just wait a couple more seconds to finish the derelict looting, and that'll give us a free Endurium, which is nice. We like Endurium a lot as the tech. And an extra level. We'll go ahead and pump it into our deploy missile battery, and we're just going to keep on keeping on. We'll head over to this asteroid over there, take that for ourselves. We did win the metal stockpile, which is nice. That's going to give us a lot to work with here. I'm going to upgrade the logistics on this planet and add a trade port in there. I'm going to go to my home planet. I'm going to upgrade the logistics. I'm going to add a trade port in there as soon as I got the credits to afford it. Boom, boom, boom. Extra trade ports. Now, trade ports are our principal way of getting our economy up and running early on. So that's what we're focusing on here. They are expensive, but they will get paid back with dividends. I'm also going to grab ourselves some efficient crystal sorting. We don't really need it, but I'm not using the money for anything else right now. We might as well get it sooner rather than later. Though we ought to be just fine on crystals, seeing as we got a very early ice planet, which has an emphasis on giving us crystals from the mining. We got another ice planet up ahead, so crystals are not going to be a problem for us, so we're not going to really invest in much of anything else into them.
Complete. Scouts have found a colonizable planet.
Scouts are still looking around. Did we find the other minor faction yet? Yes, we did. It is the expeditionary forces, exactly what I wanted. I wish we would have found them first. So, here's what we do. I'm going to take this colony ship. I don't even like them anymore. Get out of here, colony ship. I'm going to scuttle them. Why would I scuttle them? Because we're going to now do all of our colonizing via the nanites. And by scuttling them, it frees up a little bit extra population cap for us early on, so we can... is our ship on here? Yeah, there we are. We can go ahead and grab a Cobalt Light Frigate. Once we get one more here, boom, we grab a Colony Seed Nanites. Now we like this a lot. This is a very high priority pickup in the early game. This lets us, this is an item that we put onto our capital ship. It has 2 charges. It lets us, when the capital ship, it allows the capital ship to colonize planets, and when it does so, it gives us a free mining level and a free logistics level, which is a nice little discount, right? We were going to build the mining anyway. We were going to build the logistics anyway. Saves us several hundreds of each resource. Once again, we max out our mining. We max out our commerce. We've already got the logistics level, so we might as well stick a trade port in here. Trade ports take 2 civilian slots, so whenever I've got 2 slots around and space for a trade port, that's what I like to put there. We're going to be heading towards a volcano planet over there, so we'll go ahead and we'll invest in the volcanic colonization right now. And nothing else in the econ tree is really exciting for me, and we're starting to sit on a lot of resources, so it's time to go ahead and expand to our military tech as well. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to my main base. I'm going to take the military research base for 2 research points. I'm also going to go to the planet that we took and add 2 military research points there as well. That's going to skyrocket us straight up to 4 points, which will be enough for us to get up to tier 2 right away. We don't need anything in the tier 2 right away, but we had plenty of resources to work with there, so no harm just to invest in it. We're still looking pretty good on resources, so I'm going to go to our ice planet. We're going to buy more logistics, and as soon as I got the money, I'm going to add a second trade port to it here. Boom, that's going to be real nice for us. I'm also going to come in here, and because metal is a bit of a bottleneck for us, I'm going to shift some of our trade over to metal. Maybe 2.
Our fleet is under attack. Civilian
And I forgot the one other one I wanted, because we've got ourselves lots of asteroids. Already 2, definitely a 3rd one coming online. We're going to invest in the very cheap and somewhat lucrative asteroid mercantile mandate. It is just super cheap, so it'll help us give us a little extra credits. 50% credits on our asteroids, which are making us 1.2. So 3 times 1.2 would be, they're making me 3.6, so I'll get 1.8 extra credits per day just by researching that tech, and that ain't too bad. I need more nanites because I'm about to, I just used up the second charge here, so we got to add that to our ship. We go ahead in here, we're going to build another trade port. Our ship's up to level 4, we'll take more of the mobile corvettes. And we just about have our military research online. First thing we're going to do with that is pick up a basic provisioning, and then after that we're going to get the Shrike unlock, because the Shrike are our corvettes. That's what gets built by our carrier. Do I need anything else in the Civ tree right now? I do not. So we're gonna let it sit. We're not gonna pick up anything extra that we don't need, that we're not getting immediate value from. And I'll tell you what, I'm liking another trade port at our main base here. And we're broke, so we're gonna go ahead and shift some stuff back to credits to make sure we're squeezing out the credits as quickly as we can. Moving the fleet down to the next base. So I'm sitting pretty on crystal. Our metal production's alright, and it's going to get real good once we get our volcanic planet online here. Do I want the crystal stockpile? I don't right now. I'm going to save my influence. We're flush with crystal. And we got a bit of a gnarly fight here, so this is where our Sova is really going to pay us dividends. We got a missile ship here, and here. There's an extra one over there. All those missiles are going to do nothing. You see them, they're blasting at my carrier, and boom, the point defense blows these missiles away. They never touch them. And then all these little Cobalt Light frigates won't be able to even scratch the paint, so the Sova carrier stands firm. I'm going to go ahead and pick up a level of Pronost United.
No bid.
And I think once we take this middle planet, this middle ice planet here, this is going to be sort of our choke point, defensive, forward base for us there. So that's where we'll start putting up turrets. That's where we'll start putting up forward factories. Did we get... Okay, we got more supply up. So the first thing we're going to do once we've got more supply, and you saw we banked up a fair bit of resources here. Now the reason I did that is because I knew we were upgrading our supply to let us have 250 instead of 100, and we're going to invest all those right away into a whole bunch of light frigates, and also we're going to just select our carrier here and have him... Oh, I guess he's still doing tech for the Shuriken. Shurikens are done in just a second. And we're going to make him do a whole bunch of these little corvettes. We're going to build up to right at 200 fleet cap is the plan. Why 200 when 250 is the fleet cap? Well, I'm glad you asked that. Let's go in here. I think our next military tech, we're going to pick up the autocannon weapons. These will allow us, basically all of our early ships do autocannon damage, so it's just a little extra damage coming out from us. The next thing what we want to do with that last 50 is we want that to be our a second flagship. And we can always guarantee ourselves a second flagship by grabbing our home planet, and if the first survey will give us Endurium, the second survey will give us Tauronite and Endurium. Lo and behold, those are the exact combos we need, 1 Tauronite, 2 Enduriums, to build a coal battleship. And that is going to be our second choice. Alright, we're cleaning stuff up here. I'm going to go ahead and fly my carrier straight into this derelict, a level 2 loot. So this will be an extra nice. 2 more Kalinid, a whole bunch of resources. We'll put those to good use. We don't want to cap out our influence, so we'll pick up some colony seed nanites for a rainy day. We've colonized our volcanic planet, so we'll go ahead and get our mining up on that right away. Oh, and it comes with a bunch of free civilian slots, so we're gonna go invest in a quick double trade port on it. That'll slow down our coal battleship a little bit, but that'll pay some dividends for us. Now, we've been mightily greedy on our eco building so far, but given the state of the galaxy, I just know the enemy's roughly hereabouts. I don't expect to see him for a little while still, so we ought to have time. We need ourselves what? We're still waiting on our survey, one more of our surveys to get done for our last resource. It's about halfway done, so we're nearly there. I want to make sure once that survey is done, we get the coal working. And we're going to keep picking up this early military tech. We'll pick up some hull armor, and we'll start the second military level there.
Civilian structure complete.
We've gotten the derelict. That's a whole bunch more money from us. And come on, Cole. Almost there. Almost there. We're going to go ahead and invest in a third level of missile battery.
Resources have been located by our survey teams.
Alright, there's our resources. Here we go. We're going to make ourselves a coal battleship. That puts us at our 250 cap. And we're just about to actually finish military 2. And the first thing we're going to grab is a 500 supply cap.
Military research complete. Military research tier complete.
We're cleaning up some of the baddies, and we'll make our way down to the next planet. Now, the next planet is a neutral one, the Pronost United, so we're not going to take that from them. We're going to head all the way down to the ice planet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit Control-Tab, and that switches us to move in formation, and then when I click over there, I know all of my ships will move together. That way, all the light ships don't outpace my carrier, and I want my carrier coming along with everybody. It's also time for us to get up to the next tier of civilian research. So because we've got another planet here, we can go with the the relatively... Oh, I can't do it on this planet because it's not developed enough yet. So instead, we'll do our building on our asteroids. We'll take an experimental economics lab here, and here, and here. Now again, we're just trying to hit the break point for stuff. Where is it? There it is. Once we get up to the 4 civilian research, that's when we can get to the next tier. We'll grab another colony seed nanites, but that's about the most we'll likely need. I really want to get this ice planet and start dropping turrets on it with my influence points here. Provisioning doctrine is almost done. The first thing we're going to do after that is the Kalev unlock, our Gauss frigate. That's what gives us a little extra firepower early on. Our little Cobalt light frigates are okay, but they're not going to get the job done when the stuff hits the fan here. Military research is up, so again, we've been banking materials for a lot now, and we've been doing that because we now can get up to 500 supply, and we want to do that right away. Interestingly, we found enough exotics to go ahead and make a Dunov battlecruiser. That's not always in the plan, but since we've found enough, we'll go ahead and make one. Battlecruiser is a great 3rd ship, or 4th ship, or 5th ship. It's a great ship. You don't want it 1st or 2nd, but you want it eventually. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? We started with the exotic salvage policy on our flagship. I'm going to go ahead and drag it off and just sell it. That's just free money for us. I don't care about exotic salvage. I'm going to start adding like 15 frigates, and then we're going to add like another 20 or 30 of our Corvette gunships just to sort of round out our fleet, get us closer to that 500. And this is a friendly neutral territory, so we can happily just sort of drive through their backyard. They won't care. Maybe I'll spend on a 2nd level of tech for the Jiskins. I'm not investing in the crystal stockpile. We do have enough to get the next tier of civilian stuff, so we're going to start on that. And we're not picking up anything else civilian-wise yet.
Give the order.
Alright, we got a couple ships got here ahead of time. They're going to be in big trouble, so I'm going to try and pull them back till the rest of the fleet gets there. There we go, much better. And again, we're going to take our flagship and just fly him way up front so he can absorb some of this damage. Here we go, you know, 4 more Javelin LRM cruisers here. If I only had 1 capital ship here without any point defense, he could be taking a lot of damage, but with our heavy point defense on our carrier, he's going to laugh at those missiles and not worry about it at all. Okay, our tech is idle. We've got our Kalev. The next thing I want online is actually the Hoshikos. And the Hoshikos have another prerequisite technology, which is these repair droids, but that's fine. I'm happy to have both of those queued up. And then meanwhile, we've got our tier 2 tech open on our civilian. And the first thing we pick up here is modular architecture for cheaper orbital structures. That'll save us a lot of money, and we can again start investing big in our trade economy once again. But so far going great. We've got 9 trade, which is a whole bunch. We've got it all set to the goods export, so we're making a wild amount of credits per day. We've got a big old fleet to work with here, so we're tearing stuff up. I'm waiting to fill out the rest of this, the rest of my supply limits here, probably with Hoshikos. Percherons are great to pick up early if you can, but I'm usually pretty comfortable with just a whole bunch of Cobalts and Shrikens early on. We'll be able to diversify a little more once we've got some heavy factories and stuff up on the front lines. Alright, there we go. This planet should be colonized like right now. We've used up our nanites again. We could add the colony nanites back in once more. Again, we fill up our mining and our commerce. And because... Nah, I'll tell you what. We're going to go orbital extractors that we pick up right here. And we're still waiting for the Hoshikos to come along. Let's start with 2 light factories at this front planet here. And this is sort of the linchpin of the Empire. This is the only way in right now. If we look at the future orbits, it's still going to be for the next hour or so. It's really going to be our main frontline planet. So this is what I'm going to fortify, and I'm not even going to fortify it as much We might as well. We can drop down free emergency Gauss platforms on it. So
Done and dusted.
we're not even going to fortify it that much, but it's mostly going to be our factory world here. And we've gotten level 6 on our flagship, our Sova carrier here. We're going to keep going. We're going to jump off here and grab maybe these 2 other planets, though I do expect to start running into some bad guys real soon. Do I want any buildings, anything else in this Frontline Empire? I think what I want is more logistic slots in order to get a heavy factory in here. And then, once our orbital extraction is done, because we've got a couple ice planets here, especially this Frontline planet, we're going to pick up Arctic development to open up some of these extra slots for us to develop in.
Civilian structure complete.
Oh, you know what we haven't gotten? We haven't been getting our Gauss frigates. Let's do that. We're gonna cap out too soon, so we're gonna upgrade to 100 max supply. Maybe I'll even we'll do the Hoshikos first. Yeah, I probably overinvested in the light carriers and the corvettes there when what I really wanted was to save a bit more space for our Gauss frigates to help out. We could pick up a frontier colony uplink and go ahead and dump that in here. That's always useful. This gives us a bunch more health regen, and decreases the build time of the various stuff that we add in there. And we've got such a fleet here, we're not even really worrying about it. It should burn through these neutrals no problem. Where else can we invest in economy? We could pick up another trade port here. We could add a metal extractor. We could look at all of our... We've got a lot to invest right now, which is why I'm sort of looking back. We can look at each of our asteroids. We can upgrade them to our second level of logistics. Pick up some extra metal extractors on each of them, I think is what makes me happy here. And because we're pretty heavy on... I think we got 2 ice planets, so I'm going to emphasize slightly more on the metal extracting. Boom, boom, boom. Extractors all over the place. Extra trade ports anywhere I could put them, and there we spent all of our money. Cleared this guy out. Can we also pick up this primordial planet? That might already have orange guys there. We also need to get the tech for primordial colonization. I'm going to bump that to the front of the line to make sure we can get it quickly. We fill out our asteroid here, and we're expecting to run into bad guys very soon, but I'm feeling pretty confident with our 500 fleet cap right now. We'll stick a trade port over here as well. We love our trade ports. And we're about halfway done to our 1,000 point cap for fleet. I'm going to go to our forward planet here. We're going to make 1, maybe 2 scout frigates. Earlier scout frigates are probably an even better idea, but that's out. One thing I'm going to do with at least one of these scout frigates is I'm going to take Scout off of autocast on him, and I'm going to fly him just into this star system and just let him sit there. Alright, the system is empty. We ought to be able to grab that. This Frontier Adoption Lab is good. We'll throw 1 point into it. I don't know if we're going to win it, but it would be really nice if we did. And our economy is booming, and we're feeling good here. Arctic development is almost done. First thing we'll do is we'll open up our 3rd logistics slot and use that to add in one... Well, I don't even need the light factory. I changed my mind on the light factory. I'm going to just go heavy factories. 1 heavy factory, 2 heavy factories to open up extra cruiser build in the front lines. And I think we'll go ahead and invest in more cruisers, like maybe Percherons. We've managed to take this system down here. We'll go ahead and invest in it as well. Why not? It's already there.
Logistics upgrade complete.
Our civilian research has been sitting, so what do we pick up now? Now we're in the luxury territory. We've got sort of everything that we'd have ever wanted. So I think what I'm happy to pick up is maybe volcanic development. Maybe after that, the primordial development to open up these planets a bit. And our scout sees big enemy fleet right here. And if we mouse over the orange part of this, we could see it says they have 483 supply, over us over here, we've got 495 supply, and they're coming in. All right, let's fight it, guys. We want to battle? We got extra ships here. We do got to put skill points into some of these. So we're going to do an EMP charge. This is real strong against the Advent. And we're going to start with the fusillade on our ship here.
Made the right choice. Civilian structure complete.
We've got our...
Hostile forces
We're going to fight. We've got our... we're going to use our rapid manufacturing, which we had turned off before, but now we'll turn it on autocast. We're also going to tell them to make a crap ton of corvettes. Now we're going in. We're going to fight. He's already losing. He's running away. He's got a heavy fleet of Tempests and the Disciples, which are all relatively small scale. They're going to struggle mightily to pen our capital ships. They'll be pretty decent against our swarm of Shrieking corvettes.
Reading you loud and clear.
But because we've already got them on the run, we're getting some free shots on them. I think maybe we'll chase them. Our early investments in our fleet have been very useful for us. We're also going to just queue up as many Hoshikos as we can, like 10 of them. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want... looks like this play... No, okay, we're good. I thought our corvettes were being built from our other base, which I did not want. I wanted them all to be built on the front lines. We'll go ahead and we'll dump a little Gauss turret in here just for good measure, because it's free, and we're jumping in on their planet. We had them on the run. Now, if there was a bunch of defenses here, we would probably leave. We don't want to fight into fleet and defenses, but if we can jump right on top of them, we got a big capital ship advantage. We've got probably just a general fleet composition advantage. They've got a lot of light ships, and though their missiles would do good work against us, I think they would struggle to win this fight. And the AI thinks so too, so they are just running. Happy to just chase them down as best we can. And there's not really anything else in this system, so really key to beating the AI is winning these early fights, or at least fighting them with parity. If they are able to bully you, then you run into some trouble. And you might have to move to more of a defensive stance. But once we can bully them, we want to just keep our pedal to the metal and keep it going. We'll pick up some extra hull points here. Back in our civilian research, we will pick up what looks good to me. Maybe we can opt for more metal, more crystal would be fine. We can also look at picking up some extra capital ships. We'll let them run. We'll start bombing their planet and blowing stuff up. And to pick up extra capital ships, of course, the thing that you do early on is we will open up our planets, and we're going to just go ahead and we're going to survey a bunch of stuff. We're going to come in here. We got lots of extra money. The very first level of surveying is quite cheap, even on asteroids and things. So we'll just throw the first level of surveying all across the board, and we'll see what turns up for us. We got plenty of money to work with. We got a bunch of Hoshikos coming. We can even grab a couple of Percherons in the queue as well. And now we've got the enemy way in the back foot. They couldn't handle our initial fleet force, so they were forced our initial fleet. So we forced them to retreat. It's like a limerick I just made for you guys. I'm going to look back. So we did get our extra development for our ice planets, so we want to make sure we add the commerce and the mining upgrades to those as well. And we're awfully low on our crystal. The beauty of tech is we can just rebalance our trade, and boom, now that'll give us way more crystal to work with. And then another beautiful part of doing lots of surveys is sometimes you find artifacts. We found a power core relic where if we put it on a ship, that ship gets more antimatter and antimatter regeneration to everything in the gravity well. I'm happy to stick that right on top of my level 6 carrier, since that's probably the tankiest ship I have at the moment. And again, this affects every ship in the gravity well, so it's a huge antimatter boost for all of my ships, which is really nice to have. Looking at the stuff the various exotics that we found, we'll come in here and we'll add an extra coal battleship to the group. If we, oh, here we come. Looks like yellow or orange wants to go at us. So they're coming out.
Reading you loud and clear.
We're gonna get in the fight. I'm gonna use my abilities. I'm gonna queue up even more striking gunships. I feel like my fleet was kind of out of position there. I don't know why everyone was like flying around in weird spaces. We probably should have pulled back and been a bit more concentrated, but it'll be fine. And I'm not even microing here. We could be microing for extra advantage, but we don't necessarily need to. We could grab our light frigates, tell them to pick up the missiles. We could grab our Gauss frigates, tell them to focus on some of the enemy capital ships here. But we're getting torn up fairly well because the enemy was able to get a larger mass here, and their missiles are traded really, really well into all of our corvettes. Let's add extra Percherons. We'll add extra Gauss. But we might end up having to flee here. I'm going to pull back a little bit with our carrier here. I don't want him taking hull damage if we can avoid it, though we almost have their battlecruiser down. So that is very nice. We're starting to trade better here. Percherons are showing up. Their ship is running. Are we going to be able to finish him? Let's make sure our bombers are on him. Yep, I think we'll finish him off. That ought to be a good pickup for us. He had another capital ship come in, which is not ideal for us, but we're trading all right. Maybe we're not trading all right. We're losing a lot of light carriers, or light cruisers. We're holding all right so far, actually. I'm not ready to run yet. I'm ready to fight it out still. We can steal an emergency Gauss platform. Or no, we can't. Why can't I? Oh, did he bomb that? Oh, he must have. Oh yeah, he brought little frigates to bomb it. And he got it while we were in our battle here. We're doing good. We've got his other battlecruiser almost broken up. Yep, we did it. We broke his back here. We were happy to trade the benefit of having a whole bunch of these Hoshiko cruisers in our back line here. Really, really can keep us in the fight longer than the enemy might expect. And we've chased him away. So now what we need to do is we really need to prioritize on some rebuilds here, making sure we're filling up our fleet numbers again. Honestly, we don't even need the Cobalts anymore. I still like a bit of the Gauss frigates. They put out a pretty decent bit of firepower. We want to pick up the wreckage of the... Let's move our hauler fleet here. We want our hauler fleet right at the front line here so we can fight if needs be. And we'll make sure we pick up the wreckage here. We've got our extra coal battleship in. And then we ought to have been macroing in the back there, but I was keeping a very close eye on that fight because it was a tight one. It was a tight one. What do I like here? What do I like? I think we're pretty comfortable with a lot of our tech, actually. You could see how much we've left unresearched, but things are going quite well. I think we're going to grab more autocannon damage, and then after that, a rapid autoloader unlock. Meanwhile, over on the civilian research, we'll pick up a regional government unlock, which is a really great building. Is this planet? Oh, yeah. Orange stole this, so we need to go actually bomb this planet back to the Stone Age. We've got colony nanites. We could pick up a frontier colony uplink to put on this planet, actually. Would be great. And it's looking good. We've got him bottlenecked in here. He can't get out without going right through us here. And as long as we're able to hold the line, which we just did, he's pretty doomed. This is what we're going to do. We'll bump the game speed up a little bit. We'll bump it up to 5x. 5x is pretty fast. We could pick up another Dunov battlecruiser. We could say that we want a bunch more Percherons. We want to get up to that 1,000 as quickly as we can once more. And let's stick our colony seed nanites because we need to be able to colonize it as well, please. We got lots of money flowing through. We do need a bit more frontline. Maybe we'll invest in more Gauss frigates. I think Gauss frigates are always good. And orbits have now made it so that the enemy can kind of get to us from the back line here too, which is not my favorite. Maybe we'll relocate down to that one and start attacking them real soon. We can also, even earlier, we could have very easily started investing into our next level of technology. We'll go in here, we'll say military research base over here. This planet over here could very easily be another military research base. That's enough to put us up to 8. Because we've got a whole bunch of planets here, we could actually really happily come in here and do more civic research once we get enough levels in our development. Civic research, that'll put us up to 8 points in each, which will be just what we want.
Done and dusted.
This guy could be building defensive stuff, but we don't even need to. We don't need to build defensive things when we're on the offensive, right? Funny enough how that works. We don't need to be investing in our defense when the enemy is afraid of us attacking them. Now, it's not a terrible idea if you're on a big free-for-all, because you never know who's going to come from... Oh, and we jumped back on the planet we just left. That's fine. We can go back in and teach them a lesson. They've got 750 supply there. We've got 877 of our own supply. I've got us still on move and formation because I don't want us trickling in piecemeal. I want us all going together as a team. We even bombed our planet out again. That's fine. We're going to teach them a lesson here. And they're running already. That's all right. We're going to go get you guys next. Let's clean this planet up, and then we will just straight up chase them down. I think we've... Despite them having a chunky fleet, I think we've got it in the bag here. Let's research the next tier of military. They did clear out a bunch of our stuff here. Let's get this guy rebuilt.
Yes, boss.
And everybody, let's plan to chase them into this star system. We'll level up our ships a little bit if they're not already done so. And the first thing we pick up once we hit this next tier is going to be, you guessed it, extra supply for our ships. Boom, we're jumping in on the enemy. Oh, he left one of his ships way out of position. We got an easy flagship kill, and that's going to be big trouble for him. I'm going to leave this on high speed because I feel like this is a very chunky force we've got here. We have a huge array of our strike craft due to our bunch of Percheron carriers back here. So even without doing any sort of micromanagement at all, I'm pretty happy that our Hoshikos will keep our big flagships in the front line away, feeling just fine. And over time, our strike craft will just wear everything down. Their capital ships, boom, 1 down, 2 down. Ours are all healthy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Even though they're starting to get their guardians in their army, in their fleet. That would have been a big pickup for them earlier on, but it's too late, my friends. We're already tearing these guys apart. I'm just can barely click my upgrades fast enough. Boom, boom, boom. We're clearing them out. They're in big trouble. We haven't even spent any of our resources. We're absurdly rich. We could go right up to this front line. This guy could also just be a whole bunch of heavy factories for us, and he could be our new frontline reinforcements. Bravely, the AI chose to fight to the death here, but it wasn't a wise decision for him because he's getting defeated in detail. He's getting wiped out en masse here. We still have a big chunky fleet. This is 790 supply. He just lost all his fleet, so now we're gonna take our snowball and just roll him over.
Hostile forces have arrived.
Our next tech we're going to pick up is like a Harka, because we like that heavy cruiser as a really frontline bruiser. Boom, boom, boom. No starbase in here, so it should be easy peasy to blow everything up. This is a huge amount of health on this planet. It's outrageous. Ablative crust. It's going to take forever to blow this up. We might ignore this. Tell you what, we'll just go for the kill. You guys have seen everything you need to see. So that's what we focus on there. We focus on early economic greed while we can do it, and we look for breakpoints where we're about to hit sort of our next level of getting more fleet supply. We sort of save up so right when we get more fleet supply, we can try to max out as quickly as possible. Nothing matters except having as big a fleet as you can possibly have. Really, really, really. The game can be very, very snowbally, and if the snowball starts rolling the other guy's way because he made more ships than you did, it can be often quite difficult to dig yourself out of that hole. And you can see we're playing the tech primacy here, probably one of the least aggressive of... Are we getting bombed in the background here? We are.
On my mark.
What a jerk. Can we drop it? It's probably too late. It's almost dead already.
Contact with one of our
That's fine. That's fine. He's not going to be able to stop our fleet here. We're going to beeline for his home planet, finish him off. So again, we focus on our early fleet so that we're able to match the enemy in those early fleet battles. And we didn't do any fancy micro. You can, if you are paying attention to the weapon profiles of your various ships and things, you can do cool stuff with. If you understand the different facings of your weapons, where the weapons exist on your ships, you can make sure your ships are positioned so that your weapons are all firing at the right things. You can make sure your high pierce weapons are firing their high durability ships. Your low pierce weapons are targeting their weaker low durability ships. Like, there's a lot you can do in individual fights, but I was almost showing you that you don't even need to do it as long as your macro decision making has been good, right? And another thing I would emphasize is that we were very choosy in the tech that we got, right? We're nowhere in the tech tree, 4 and 8, that's hardly deep at all. But we were very, very careful about what we chose to research. And that's because of the opportunity cost of things. You know, there's lots and lots of resources to go around, but what matters is where you put them when they're scarce, before there becomes lots and lots, right? At this point in the game, we've been coasting for a long time on a lot of income, so we could buy sort of whatever we want. We could tech straight to the end of the game. But it doesn't matter because we invested smartly in our fleet, in our economy, and once we made contact with the enemy, we were able to bully him off and take what we wanted. It was actually even easier than I expected it to be. Sometimes I think the tech enclave can be quite a struggle, but not today. We tore apart the Advent here. And we'll go ahead and crank it up to number 10 just to finish them off. I suspect they might be in a bit of trouble. They didn't even have an opportunity to get up star bases. We were able to sort of burn through them quicker than that. Now that's not the most fun way to play Sins, right? You know, the one-on-one can be a very hairy, a very gnarly kind of experience. But the idea is you look at that and you see where I was putting a priority on things, what we were, you know, if we look at our tech tree, right? Let's pause for a second. We never picked up the stuff like counter deployment, right? The enemy was never in our gravity wells. We didn't need the reduced ship build time. You know, we never picked up the culture bonuses, right? We never had a need to really... This was actually would have been fine. It would have been relatively easy for us to do to get some extra credits, but we lived without them totally by investing those credits deeper into our military tech and into our ships first and foremost. And even in the military tech, look, there's a million things that we haven't gotten that all would have been nice to have. I probably should have picked up Corvette shields earlier. I totally forgot about that. But that's an important early pickup if you go for the Sova carrier. That would have helped our gunships live quite a bit longer. But we prioritized unlocking ship types that would help us win fights. The Gauss frigates are critical for being able to contest the enemy's capital ships. The Hoshikos are critical for being able to keep your own stuff alive. Percherons are just great all around. Harkas we love. We could have gone Javelus as well, but again, they're kind of even a late unlock for us, and the Gauss frigates fulfill that role for us. Whew. Lots went on there, lots of talking. That was an easy peasy, unfair comp stomp. I hope that was helpful to see how I prioritize stuff, see what the emphasis goes on, and maybe taught you some tricks there of how to go about thinking about things, how to go about using your scarce resources to turn the early battles into your advantage. And you could even see that once I felt like I had the upper hand there, I leaned into them and I didn't let them rebuild and get momentum back. But play however you want. Just know that there's more than one way to skin a cat out there. So you can come at this from a lot of different strategies. That's just one that works for me, and I hope it works for you next time you try it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Davok, and that was some Sins of a Solar Empire 2: How to Beat an Unfair AI. See you next time.